All right, great. So we're back again tonight. It's Wednesday, August 17th for a special called meeting. The first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so let's see. Item number 2. I have some strict instructions. Do we have public comments? I should check that first. Kevin, did anybody sign in up there?
No, sir.
Okay, so after item number 2, if I can find that, so can I share that with you? Sure. So under item number 2, we have the discussion and possible action regarding the approval of ordinance O-13-2022, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of McGregor, Texas, adopting the budget for fiscal year beginning on October 1, 2022 and ending on September 30, 2023, and making appropriations for each department, project, and account for said year in accordance with the city charter of the City of McGregor, Texas, and the laws of the state of Texas, providing a severability clause and providing an effective date. So let's see. With that, then, Carolyn, what do you have to add for us this evening?
There has been no change to the budget.
Okay. All right, council, do you have any comments other than anything that we talked about last night? Any additional comments? You hear somebody? Oh.
Karen requested to know how many people were watching online.
Oh, you said 2?
Okay.
What was your wishes?
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Shadoa last night was saying something about that Social Security and that life insurance and that all stuff. So the Social Security, do we pay the Social Security?
You pay the city's portion.
Okay, that's what I was.
The employees pay their portion.
Yeah, that's what I think she was asking, and I didn't catch that, and I just wanted to verify
It'd
that.
be just like payroll taxes. We
Right,
have
that's
a
what it
portion
is.
of-
Yeah, and I just wanted to be sure I understood what was happening,
Yes.
and clarified. I get it.
That's
correct.
Same with retirement, we pay part, they pay part.
Right. That's what I figured. I didn't know about the insurance. I figured the insurance,
If you
y'all
have
might.
family or spouse
Yeah, you
or
can add
support,
them.
then the employees.
But the
pay that
employee's
portion.
free, isn't it? Or they got paid?
Employees are covered.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, that clears that up.
Any other questions about the clarification? Okay, there is, so making a motion, I'm gonna need to pass this to someone that needs to make a motion, because it has to do with the tax rate specifically. And so as we know, our tax rate number, it's not changing, or virtually none. It's changing 0.001%. But the revenue generated by that same tax rate number is more than what it was last year. Whether that's because of all of us seeing increased appraisal rates, or the result of new property being put onto the tax roll. So the city will receive more money, but it's not the result of the increased tax rate. But regardless, we have to make sure that we have notified everybody under full disclosure that the city is going to be receiving more revenue from that similar tax rate. And so that's part of what must be included in item number 2 and in item number 4. So whoever wants to make the motion, I'm going to hand it to Sherry. She's sitting next to me. So Sherry, you need to reference ordinance O-13-22 and then to read that language there. That's correct.
Okay, make a motion that we approve the ordinance O-13-2022 and approve to ratify the property tax increase that will raise more total property taxes than last year's budget by $535,871, or 19.11%. And of that amount, $91,047 is tax revenue to be raised from new property added to the tax rolls this year.
That's correct.
Second.
There's a motion and a second on item number 2. Are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion carries. Under item 3 is discussion and possible action to ratify the property tax increase reflected in the fiscal year 2023 budget. So, Carolyn, I don't see any specific language we have to use there, but anything else you want to add to that? Okay, so again, these are just carried forward really from items 2, 3, and 4. The property tax increase is just as I described it, is the 1,000% in the property tax number, the rate, and the increased revenue that's generated from the various sources that we've talked about. So, is there a motion under item 3 to ratify the property tax increase as reflected in the budget?
I move that we move to ratify the property tax increase reflected in the fiscal year 23 budget.
Second.
There's a motion and a second on item 3. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion carries. To item 4 is discussion and possible action regarding the approval of ordinance O-14-2022, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of McGregor, Texas, approving the 2022 certified tax roll for the City of McGregor, Texas. Carolyn, anything to add there? Okay, so the tax rolls that we've seen, that's where we had the total taxable values of all properties that are now before the city, which is in excess of $520-something million, I believe. 609 million. So I guess it was 500-something last year. So 609 million this year. Again, that's as a result of new property being put on the rolls and the appraisal district increases that probably most of us have seen. So.
Oh, I got a question though.
Yes.
And on that, so with the new property, how do they count that? Is it counted when they, put in a thing to build the houses, or is it when they finish?
And not until they finish. So I think they do it probably, and again, someone can correct, but I think they look by certificates of occupancy. That's one of the trigger points they use, or in the past they have, but I don't know what the determining when they run out here and do it.
January 1. So
Okay.
like what was built on, or I've seen some even they'll do 50, like at the parks last year, they had one that was like 50% built, so they only charged, they prorated it. But it's whatever you have on the ground, January 1 is what will be built out the following October.
But I would assume sometimes they just miss things too. I don't see how they can catch them all.
I was wondering, because how do they?
Yeah.
One of the things that we make sure we do is send in a building permit report.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was
That's
thinking.
the eventual baseline, but occasionally they find things weak.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they kind of go on that too?
Yeah.
using the-
And you'll notice now, if you've challenged your taxable value, they're using a lot of drones.
Yep.
So when you question it or dispute it, and you ask for the evidence that they have, because I've done it, and you get the evidence back, and it's a lot of drone photos, so, again, there's not any way for anybody to hide pretty much anymore, because they're flying drones, and they know what's out there pretty well. It's not just driving up and down the street as they did years ago.
When Google Earth Pro does another flyby, they know when those are gonna happen. and
Yeah.
they Check those as well.
Yeah.
They have a lot of tools.
Yeah. Okay, so, that is, under item 4, and there is some, again, almost identical language as we needed, as we used in 2 for item 4. So, you'll need to reference by ordinance number and then the language here. Sherry, since you're next to me, you wanna do that? So by ordinance number and by specific language.
Okay, we'll approve the ordinance of 014-2022 2, approve the property tax rate by increased by the adoption of a tax rate of 0.548028, which is effectively a 16.03% increase in the tax rate. I make a motion that we do that. I don't think I said that.
Yeah, you got it.
I'll second that motion.
There's a motion, a second, under item 4. Are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion carries. To item 5 is discussion and possible action regarding the approval of ordinance O-15-2022, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of McGregor, Texas, adopting a tax rate, providing for the providing for the assessment, levy, and collection of an ad valorem taxes for the City of McGregor, Texas for the year 2022 on all taxable property within the corporate limits of the city as of January 1, 2022 that are not exempt by law, providing revenues for the payment of current municipal expenses, providing for the collection of taxes and the enforcement of collections, and providing an effective date. Carolyn, anything? Yeah. So essentially what this is, this just says we are approving the budget and giving it force and effect along with the tax rate with this ordinance. This is the I call it the summary adoption of what we're doing. And you only need to reference it by ordinance number O-15-2022 within your motion.
I move we approve ordinance O-15-2022.
Second.
There's a motion, a second, under item 5. Any other questions or comments?
You
I think she got in by just a split second.
Hearing no further comments, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion carries. To item 6 is discussion and possible action regarding the approval of Resolution R-10-2022, a resolution of the City Council of the City of McGregor, Texas, changing the name of the Event Center Advisory Board to the Community Services Advisory Board and defining the scope of work of the Community Services Advisory Board. Cassie, good evening.
So, we wanted to put a Parks and Recreation Board together, but since we did the new Community Services Department, we thought it would benefit the entire department to do one board that would cover every entity under that. So it'd be the exchange, Parks and Recreation, the pool, the cemetery, all of those things. So this board would be the direct advisor to y'all moving forward. We would convert the current Event Center Advisory Board. They do have one current open position and one who's set to expire at the end of this term. I've not received word if that person is wanting to return or not, but I've also received 3 other interest letters or 3 other individuals that were interested when we were going through either the splash pad process or a couple of the other things they're interested in being on that board.
So what used to be the Exchange Advisory Board is now gonna be the Parks Board, or are they gonna sit?
It'll be community services, and it'll cover the exchange as well as parks. So
Okay.
it'll help with a master plan for parks moving forward, it'll help with fee schedules between the pool or the event center. So it gives them a little bit more of everything that they,
And cemetery.
and cemetery, yes.
So that is much more comprehensive than what the Exchange Advisory Board was doing. And again, I don't know whether those folks are interested or not, but have they been informed of the possibility
Yes,
of what?
I did get to speak with each one of them, and they are excited. The one who is set to expire, he feels like he may have possibly done the best that he could do, and he should step aside and let someone else step in who has the more of the interest as far as the parks and recreation. So we do have a good opportunity to put 2 more people who would be a more diverse board that would give more of the community services department a better outlook moving forward.
Okay, all right. Well, that's something then we will be taking up between now and, what was it, September 19th, if I remember correctly? Whatever, I don't know.
September meeting, correct?
Okay, September meeting. So yeah, so just make sure, and it sounds like you've done that to inform them that, look, if you still wanna be on this board, your responsibilities are gonna be greater. So, and that's something for us to keep in mind too, that's gonna become even a more important board than what it was, because, again, the responsibilities are stretched out now.
Was there a board for the cemetery?
No, I don't believe there's ever been a board for the cemetery.
Okay. What, did parks fall under a board?
I don't believe Parks has ever had a board either.
we tried once.
They had one that put together a master plan, it dissolved. Master plan got stuck on a shelf. We brought the master plan out back as part of the 2030 plan. I've gotten most of that done, not all yet, obviously. But we've always wanted to put one together, but it's so hard to populate a board.
Yeah, that sounds
Well, the
like a very
exchange came
reasonable idea to
forward.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it is.
exchange came forward and became a board people were interested in. It really makes this kind of a natural step, and we don't have to appoint a different board.
Right.
And parks will get, you're not gonna have a radical amount of activity in the parks, but it's gonna be very nice to have a board to bounce stuff off of.
Yeah,
and
that's
to come to
exciting.
you with recommendations.
Thank you.
Okay, so any other questions about that, for Cassie?
So then, that kind of probably eliminate the idea for us having a park, just, you know what I'm saying, for the park.
We were looking at having a park-specific board, so
Yeah.
as opposed to me having an event center advisory board and a parks board and a cemetery board, I have one board that can cover all of them, so it makes their meetings a little bit more impressionable. Since we do meet once a quarter, that way we can maybe just expand those meetings to make sure we cover everything we need between all the departments, or however that board kind of wants to handle that. Officially, they meet once a quarter, but we can put in additional.
We had Charlie's help with this, right?
Correct. Charlie worded and took care of everything. And once we made sure he understood what we were trying to do as far as just converting one board to cover a larger scope.
Well, I would sure think we're gonna have some interest in that. Any other questions? Anybody? Okay, is there a motion by resolution number as stated in item 6?
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution R-10-2022.
There's a motion and second under item 6. Are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That motion carries. To item 7, Kevin, announcements from city manager.
You talked very briefly a moment ago about appointing people to boards in September. But I'm gonna ask you to appoint people to a couple of boards out at the airport Monday, on the 22nd, when we have that special meeting. Reason being is there is a development moving forward and they need us to start meeting right away. And it's the Dwyer property, and we just had a meeting with them. Finished up about an hour ago, maybe a little less. And they're very well heeled, they know what they're doing. We've put together a, what do they call, a Gantt chart, a timeline. And it all hinges so that their closing with Dwyer can be done. They're getting an extension on it now, but we need to move forward. So the thing is, I don't think we have ever appointed council people to that board. And Waco just did. In fact, there's 2 boards that I need you to talk about Monday night, and I would like a council person on each board. One of them is the actual McGregor Airport Zoning Board. Kyle Pascal is on that as well. Chad Ainsworth used to be, he's no longer here. But their members are Jim Holmes, council member from that region for Waco, and Dylan Meek, mayor. So I'd like to have one of your group on there. I think having Kyle on as realtor is still good. I don't like to overload boards with council people, but it would be nice to have one of you there. The other one is the one that really probably will never meet, and as sure as I say that, something will come up, but the Board of Adjustment. Anytime you have a zoning board, you have to have a Board of Adjustment as well. Tony Fox is no longer, he can't serve on that board. Kevin Houchin is on that board, but they have also put both Jim Holmes and Dylan Meek on that board. We could have the same council person serve on both boards, or you could have separate. I'll leave that to y'all, but that's something for y'all to think about till between now and Monday, and then give us some help. Both of those boards, their first meetings will be to choose a chairman, the way that, it's not chapter 11, what's it called? Rule 11 agreement is set up on that airport when that was negotiated, is that those boards would choose
Fifth, right?
their fifth person, and when things are voted on out there, they have to be 100%, full vote. They will be in charge of this development from start to finish. So I really need some council people on there.
Okay, so backing up again, are you saying that the airport zoning board and the airport adjustments board can be the same people?
Our people on them can be, yes. Now, I'm not saying that. I think Houchins would be a great member to keep on there.
But they can be?
They can be.
Is
And-
this the same as the advisory board?
No, that's, the administrative board is me and Mike Olson and Clint Peters and Deidre, one of their deputy managers. And that's who they've just put on there.
Yeah, so this all stemmed from that lawsuit years ago. I think we settled it in 2002 or so, and so we can develop the front 100 acres, everything behind it cannot be developed. It has to be remaining in some sort of park or airport use and that sort of thing.
However,
Yeah.
the City of Waco is working with us and supportive of taking 111 acres out of that green space and putting it in
Really?
here.
And they were the ones who were so intent on.
Different world, with different people, and they need us and we need them to work this development between us.
Yeah.
We need the CCNNs, they need to be able to annex. I just got that back from Charlie late yesterday. He's been working with their city attorney, and that's ready to move forward. I haven't reviewed it yet, because it's been one of those days, but they're ready to pull the trigger, and so are we.
So hang on a second, if it's our city limits, what do you mean they annex?
We probably ought to go over that when the time comes to actually cover it. I briefed you once in exec, but state law doesn't allow any cities to unilaterally annex anymore. Yet they have developments that want to annex and be controlled.
Yeah, but you're not talking about our airport.
No,
You're talking
no,
about
no, it's
property
around, coming-
Yeah,
coming between
Okay.
here and there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that was the big benefit for us, is generating the sales tax.
They don't
that was
want the
gonna-
airport.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're gonna be serving the utilities.
Yeah, to it.
To this property.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
we're in very good shape with them. We'll probably have to negotiate a fire coverage agreement with them,
Yeah.
because they got a fire station right around the corner. A lot of good things on the way. The good news is the people that have contracted for this property from the Dwyers know what they're doing and have done it several places. And very excited to have a company like this. It was a very good meeting. We've had several good meetings with them. But you're gonna need to be putting people on that board Monday so we can move forward.
Okay, so right now, on the airport zoning board, we really only have Kyle that's a holdover.
Right,
And we need to put at least one more.
right.
And it
your-
needs to be someone from this council.
And your appointments there are indefinite, they just stay.
Yeah, right.
This group will meet hot and heavy for probably the better part of a year. And then they may not ever meet again for,
Yeah.
well, if we get that other piece of property out of declared surplus, that'll take a little longer, and then we'll have to meet again on that. But it's looking up out there for now.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay, y'all keep that in mind, and that's a big deal, and that'll come from this table, who we put on there.
I need it, and I really like having Kyle and Houchin on there, so that it's not all
Yeah,
council
but
driven.
we can't keep both of them though, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
it's 2-2, I thought, us two, them two.
They're on separate boards. One of them's on P and Z and one of
Yeah,
them's on
right, right.
adjustment.
I got you.
And the adjustment, not near as important,
Yeah,
but we might as well go ahead and do it while we're doing it.
Yeah.
And then we'll have all those blanks full for your budget.
yeah.
I'll be way ahead of all the other boards and committees.
Okay.
This is how you do it, folks.
All right. Council, under the next to last item, anything from the council? Okay, with that, I'll just say again, thank you to the staff. Carolyn, I know this is kind of your big project for the year, and so I thought the budget was really well done. And so thank you for your efforts, and to all the department heads, many of whom are here tonight. Thank you all very much for getting the budget put together so efficiently and organized so well. So hopefully we'll win another award for it this year, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Don't let what he said
I've got audit already started, so it
Yep,
doesn't
just
stop.
from one to the next. So, all right, with that, this meeting's adjourned at 7 o'clock.